I always thought it was up to me to make a difference. Means nothing to sheep. Fooled by the love of the government's hugs. I'm kissed by the one, she's the sun from above. Ain't it funny in a room full of test ya? Making money for the moon, I betcha. Ain't it funny I'm your groom and I get ya? I'd see best when I see she's wet. If I had the chance I'd swim oceans and sing. Slap a smile from your face, you got nothing to bring. Two hands, great flick, thanks Heath Ledger. Elixir on election. I will, I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I will, I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. Now I know that it's up to me to make a difference. Mine's like a sheep, not fooled by the government's hugs. Need a fast line, love like doves. Not fooled by the government's direction. Can't blame, don't give me erection. Might sound mean, but I think I see ya. And stranger, no danger.
Moment for a second, then I lose my concentration. If rumors were religion, then I'd be the confirmation. I intend to get my sights set on using information to connect the chosen people to this soulful inspiration. There are no limitations when you're living from the heart, shining light into the darkness with the art as we embark on an instrumental mission, stepping on a peaceful path, knowing where we come from, letting you know who we are.
I will, I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I will, I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. Cool. Look. Cool, bro.
Oh gosh, I've got a helmet here again.
That was a bit of a kerfuffle. I was trying to get on that live stream with Santos then.
I didn't know what was going on, and then suddenly I'm glad I was watching because he just called me out. Hey,
Awesome.
jump on Zoom. I'm like, what's Zoom? What do I do?
And what's the topic for today?
We can make sounds with our mouth, Santos.
What do you want to talk about?
He didn't do. Yeah, exactly. That's what I should have done, thrown it straight back at him. I thought you were organising it, Santos. What is the topic?
Classic. Well, let's just see. Yeah.
Santos will be joining us soon. And while we're waiting, check out this mud flood picture I got. Now this is, I'm not exactly sure, Asia. I'm thinking it looks like the Middle East for some reason. But look at this. Ground level, boom, boom, boom. And this thing, it's got a whole structure underneath it.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, and we see these all over Thailand, right? And Cambodia and stuff, and they're literally just the tops. But this looks like, I mean, it's actually a whole building. I wonder how far down it goes. There's more superstructure here.
Well, they're never very little buildings, are they?
No, well, I mean, look at the size of this truck, right? And here, big front end loader, and it's about as wide as that thing. And I like how they've got the power pole just in the middle here.
Wow. That is just extraordinary. That sums a lot up right there.
It's a good pick, isn't it? It just shows you, like, you can imagine that would have just been all leveled off here. And they would have just gone, oh yeah, just two towers and some, because even this looks like it was covered up to about there.
Wow. Okay.
That's what we see everywhere, right? But as we've been saying, there's, and just that, like that just looks like the twin poles, right? The twin towers at the front of all the cathedrals and stuff we see.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, this bit here is probably could be another massive structure. So it's, yeah, I thought that was a good pick. Pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. I used to, when I was young, I bought I still consider myself young. But
I'm young. I still can't grow a beard, man. I got beard envy.
yeah. See, I'm the opposite. I always wanted to be smooth sailor, but I was the Wolfgang
Hairiness, yeah. See,
nowadays.
I can go like 2 weeks, and I'm pretty much just got like, you know, what some people call like an afternoon shadow. You know, it's great.
No, man, I'm the opposite, brother. It's a classic. Yeah, I always wish. Yeah, my kids. It's really really good look. You know, the back hair. It's
Yeah,
grow. And my kids, they have to take turns at like, you know, I'm like an Alsatian that has to be clipped every few months.
like a yeti, mate. They got to de-hair you.
Oh, so mate, don't ever be envious of a man with a beard for 1 second.
Cool.
Yeah, mate. Looking forward to this chat today, bro. We've got a lot of topics that I wanted to cover, and yeah, we got things I'd like to pick Santos's brain and go in a little bit deeper. As we know, his knowledge is quite vast, and yeah, it's just keeping up with him, mate, is quite difficult at times. Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
Yeah. And of course, the Syncretism Society, syncretismsociety.com is his website that he's building, and I'm on there. I'm doing alternative history videos, but you know, I'm watching, get across and check that out. It is a paid site. Obviously, you know, they've got expenses, and they're spending most of their money on healing machines at the moment. But also, you know, we've got to support what we want, right? We've got to support the new earth, or what are we going to do? Support, you know, the system. It's choice. You know, we've got to make choices of where we put our value. So I'd recommend everyone go across, and if you want to join, and that, you know, you're in hardship, you can write them an email and just explain your situation, and they'll work something out for you. So it's definitely not a, you know, a money grab, but yeah, mainly go, you know, $50, $12 a week. So go and support what you love. And it looks like we have the man himself here.
He is. Hello, my man. Fuck, bro.
Flat thumbs. Woohoo.
How are you, Gary?
Very good, brother.
Oh, I like your beard, man.
Oh, mate. Thank you,
Well,
brother.
we're just talking beards. I've got double beard envy now. I can't grow one, Santos. I'm still waiting to mature.
Oh, mate, it's all about manhood.
I've got to get wise before I get whiskers, I think.
Well, when you grow up to be old like me, you'll be a man like me, brother. Don't worry. You'll get a beard.
That's it. You didn't eat your crust, Cambell.
I know, right? Completely straight hair, no beard. I mean, I know. Should have listened to Mum eating the crust.
That's it. And mate, Santos, mate, I just wish I could leap through there and give you a cuddle, my man.
I tell you what, I'd love to give you a big hug, brother.
Brother, heart to heart. I still remember.
I miss you.
Yeah, I miss you too, bro. My heart's fuzzy, bro.
Best hangouts I used to have when I was on the coast there with you was when we'd go and have a coffee at what was that place we used to go to all the time?
Yeah, they've moved it now down the road on that main street in Karoi. Yeah.
That was a good vegan place. We used to go and have coffee there, or you'd come over to my place.
That's it, bro.
Have a good chin wag. Yeah. Oh man.
The mushies came out sometimes.
Yeah, oh yeah. And the kratom, remember the kratom one?
Mate, my son went slightly green color. It was very funny. Oh, but yeah, man, it's been too long, you know, and even I know when you're in America, brother, you invited us over to come and play guitar with you, and I was seriously considering it, bro, to come and spend time with you and do that with you. And mate, everything went down before we knew it, you know. Yeah, fucking here we are.
All rising now, Gary. I think we both need to visit Mexico this year.
You will. Yeah. You will. You watch.
I'm coming. Don't know how, don't know when, but I've made the decision.
Well, we're gonna have a big event sometime in June when Daniel gets back. He's going to organise a massive event, so you can come and be one of the key speakers here. We're going to have speakers over a week. We're going to be doing like four speakers a day, and from all fields. So we'll definitely want your content, brother.
Awesome. All
Yeah,
right.
and Gary will come over and play the music. We'll do the jamming. We'll do the music and everything.
Yeah, man. Hit him with the 4-3-2. Forget about
Yep.
the old P-bow.
Yes. How many guitars have you made since I've left?
Oh, mate, I've done only a handful of customs, brother. I'm finishing off with a few students as well. But it's just that market. It's pretty slow, mate, the high-end guitar market. And it was never done for anything but love. You know, I made that conscious decision to just try to do things for love and the passion side of life. You know, I chased money for so many years in real estate, and you know, I owned a pub, and living amongst such energy of, you know, being around heavy drinkers all day, mate, nearly killed me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen you make progress since I met you like 6 years ago. Or 5 years ago or so. I've seen you make lots of progress.
Absolutely.
And now you've got your own channel. I remember you talking about it because you wanted to do something more. Well, now you've got that. You've got Cambell joins you all the time. You've got some good, I've seen a couple of great interviewees that you've got as well. So congratulations, man. Just keep growing.
That's it, thank you.
All the listeners, I'll upload this onto my channel. All the listeners of Mr. Astrotheology, listen up, listen up, listen up. Join Gary's channel, join Cambell's Autodidactic. Get these guys out there. Have a look at guys like Joe Rogan. He speaks about a quarter of the truths that we do, and he's got more viewership than CNN, NBC, all of those demonic channels put together, and they're all watching Joe Rogan going, how does he get to be so, he's got 100 million times more viewers than we do? Well, because he doesn't tell bullshit like you do at CNN, right? And they're on their way out, guys. So, you know, Truthurts is going to be a big channel one day, Gary. You know, don't think small, man. Think big.
Man, that's it. And I remember at a young age, bro, I've just always been like that. I remember my sister said something, and I've always been quick with the words, and I was 6 years younger than my, you know, next sibling. And then I'd have to always, you know, I just hit him with the truth, you know, and I just learned from a young age, no one likes the truth.
They don't.
It hurts. It does.
It hurts, bro. But mate, I can't thank you enough for being here today, and both yourself and Cambell. Mate, I don't know if people haven't heard of you, they're obviously got, they're not looking down the right path, that's for sure. So much knowledge on so many levels, so much wisdom. Mate, I listen to you just daily, and you make me laugh. I feel everything you feel. I feel all the pain. I feel, I love the way you have the ability to, with your words, to say what I wish I could say. I'm getting better. And mate, if it wasn't for you, I did a truth talk about a couple of weeks ago, and there wasn't many people there because no one likes the truth. But there was, and I wouldn't be doing that sort of stuff if it wasn't for you. It takes balls to get up and speak the truth in front of a group of strangers, mate. And
yeah, well, you are developing. I've noticed that you are developing. I can see some better habits creeping into your speech style, your questioning, waiting for the individual you're interviewing to finish their sentences, asking questions that are relative, not just sort of general, so more specific. So this is what's going to set you apart, man. Play back what you do, because you are actually depending on the content of your interviewer mostly. And so you've got to refine your interviewing skills. It's very important. I do not like doing interviews with people who do not have interview skills. They interrupt or whatever, or they don't ask questions. I don't like it. There are some great interviewers, and then there's the average ones. And the great ones, they're great because they deserve to be great. So, you know, if you, like a musician, you know, you can only get better by jamming and practicing and listening to what you've done, so you can, you know, remove all the bad habits and techniques. And so look at habits and techniques, and look at how you can improve that. You know, just watch yourself and keep an eye on yourself as well. Don't look too much at the other person. Look at your expressions when you're interviewing, and hone your skills in, man. You're getting better. You are.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Like, I guess it just took, when I started it, it was just for a bit of a, it was like, I had no intention, mate. I was just doing these videos. I was like, I've just got to get this information out there. I just got to get it off my tongue, you know? And then as I started, I was getting like guys like Auto and some other awesome people to talk to. And it sort of just happened by accident. And then I was like, shit, well, I better actually learn what I'm doing here, mate. You know, so yeah, I'm really, like, now it's the time that I'm actually looking how other people do it, and and mate, that's the only way you get better at anything, is to practice.
Yep. Practice makes perfect, they say.
That's it, brother.
Just start. Even if you don't know what you're doing, just start, and then as long as you're an ethical person, you're going to want to get better, and that's what you do. You just watch people, you watch yourself, and you just get better. I mean, you should have seen my first videos. They were horrendous. People still watched them, but they were shocking.
Yeah. Well, we all. It's like, you know, when you first pick up a guitar, you know, my analogy, or whatever it be, you'll always get better. And it's, I've only just made that conscious decision to go, all right, let's do this. And it's exciting, mate. I didn't sleep last night because I knew this was happening today, you know, so really pumped to have you here, mate. And, you know, and there's topics that I think are really just amazing because I listen to you guys so much. You know, I know a lot of the stuff you talk about, and, you know, I'd love to delve in today to a few topics and hear what you both have to say, and let you guys do the talking, you know, and really for you guys to share the knowledge that, you know, that is that no one else can deliver, mate. So stoked to have you both here. And mate, a few of those topics I was thinking about were, Santos, we talk about, mate, I just find it so interesting today, this, you know, this guy, we grow up and the access to, like, guys to have to pornography, kids these days, and they're all literally masturbating themselves to death. You know, in the past we had schools like seminaries and that you speak of, and mystic schools, and these things are, you know, people have no idea about, mate, and retaining of the semen. And these are the topics that, you know, not a lot of people talk about. Myself and my wife are really trying to practice. It's not as easy as you think. It's a real mental challenge. And I could say something really funny, man, but wow.
Program.
Yeah.
Like as men, we don't have any, you know, coming of age ceremonies apart from, you know, getting pissed on your 18th. And so really the perception is go out and start, you know, rooting around, go and get as many women as you can. Yeah, that's being a man. That's what we've been programmed.
Yep.
And the thing is, every single partner that we've had, one night stand, a kiss here, a kiss there, every single one of those individuals, we still have them inside of us. You cannot extricate them from you. There is a part of them in you until the day your body is dissolved. So see how dangerous a game it was. You know, in the schoolyard, we were infatuated with Sue, you know, Peggy Sue. She was the cutest girl. I wonder if I can kiss her behind the shelter shed. And one day you catch her there, and all of a sudden, you know, and she slaps you a kiss, and you think, oh wow, I'm never going to wash my face again. That is with you forever, and that DNA exchange, it's there forever, and it's big to contemplate, man. There is a lot to be said about a virtuous, pure lifestyle. There's a lot to be said for it. The Pythagoreans and the Neoplatonists said, in order to purify your soul, you must be alone. You cannot be with people. You have to be alone as much as possible. Every day, if you're not alone for 2 hours at least, not when you're just sleeping, but even during the day for 2 hours, you're losing the purity of your soul, period.
I mean, that's the big game, isn't it? Distraction, distraction, distraction. Look here, look here, movies, stars. Oh, look at all these idols you can worship. But don't worship yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a great picture behind you there, Cambell. What is that? Which?
That is the 73 Chicago World's Fair.
Yep. Yeah. That must have been the most glorious Midwest city in the States. And you know what? They deliberately went and demolished these ancient Tartarian buildings. What a sacrilege. Who in their demented mind would do such a thing? Who?
Mate.
We can't even fathom it.
No.
You know, we have these, you know, heritage societies and that who go out and protest when they want to knock down one building in a city that's already half destroyed. But these guys destroyed the whole city in one go.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And the story that it's, you know, built out of paper mache and you know, timber. It's, look at the, you know,
burn so well.
gravity. They really think we're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I mean, I don't know how many, but at least tens, you know, of these buildings around the world, and they're still standing, and they are clearly masonry brick buildings. They're not paper mache. I mean, the story we're given, you know, they run them for 9 months. What did they do? Stop all the rain or something? I mean, if they were really what they tell us, imagine if a big storm went through there. Like, you know, the facade would just fall off, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just dumb. It's just, you know, and this is the kind of the thing, right? Like, I think they kind of give us stupid stories, you know, one, to see who'll believe it, but two, because it kind of instills that, you know, if you go along with it, it kind of instills the feeling that you're dumb, right? If you believe this stuff, subconsciously, your spirit knows that it's crap. And if you're going along with it, then you're just telling yourself you're stupid. I think that's half of it as well.
I agree, brother. That's what it's all about, man. They're seeing how stupid they can make us by telling us the biggest lies. The bigger they are, the harder you fall. The harder they swallow it. But I tell you what, man, the revelation is here now. Our eyes are open, and there's no stopping this downpour of truth. Every day we are getting closer and closer to the truth. It's unveiling itself. It is an amazing thing that is going on. I never thought I'd see this day. I never thought it was going to be so good. The show's getting better and better. It is amazing.
It's awesome. I'm loving it.
Now the Wizard of Oz makes so much sense. That movie, it just when I was a spin out watching it as a child, you know, and you get to the end and there's just this little cretin behind the curtain. And that's literally what we're dealing with here.
I this whole thing that everyone's coming up and saying, oh my God, it's just another scam. It's all planned. It's a trick. They're just, doing this. And it's this, mindset of they're so much smarter than us. They're so much better, which is really the mindset of I'm a slave. Please enslave me more. Hit me harder, master. I mean, so all this stuff about people talking about that, all they're going to build is that reality for themselves. And if everyone thinks we're going to the same place here, well, I'd say you're probably wrong. So if you're believing all this stuff and you're empowering the parasites, well, guess where you're going? You're going to where that's going to be true.
Yeah.
So it's no use arguing with people, oh, this is going blah, 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 because whatever you believe is where you're going. So that's I've been trying to, I've been saying this on bloody repeat for months now, but you're just seeing it everywhere. People are just so, oh my God, all this stuff is happening, right? And we were talking about this 2 years ago, and we've got all the prophecies, everything, and people are still going, oh, it's a trap. It's made by them. Oh my, which is, stop telling the universe you're a slave, people.
That's right.
Like, get your power. You're the creator. We're the creators. We get to create. And their big scam is they just get us to create what they want because they can't create. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and when we say they, Santos, mate, I don't think anyone else, I'm sure there's a couple out there, but wow, you explain it really well who they are. My son the other day asked me, Dad, who are the Jesuits? And mate, I tried to sort of explain. I don't think I could have explained it obviously as well as you. Could you explain to our listeners, mate, who they are?
Well, the Jesuits used to be called Marranos, and a Marrano is a cryptic Jew. In other words, because the Spanish kingdom outlawed them, Ignatius Loyola, who was a general in the Spanish army, he fled, and then he found sponsorship in Venice by the Orsini, Farnese, and Borgia family, the three families that founded the Jesuits. And he swore an oath to them that he would start an army, because he was a general. He was, he was a great leader. And he swore, he probably had good intentions. I don't know. You can't say, because, half of these guys are fictional anyway, and half of them are real, but the stories told about them are not real. So anyway, he could have had good intentions, but he swore that he would make an army for the Catholic Church that would protect Christianity. Now, he was a crypto Jew. Now, here's the thing. The people who run Catholicism, Islam, Judaism, they don't actually follow those religions. They follow the religion that I'm teaching, which is Syncretism, astrology, science, magnetism. They don't fall into these categories because they know that those categories are just names for the same thing, science, natural science. So all we are is natural scientists. That's all we can be. Whether you call yourself a doctor, an astrologer, a chemist, an alchemist, whatever you call yourself, label yourself, all you are is a natural scientist, because there is only nature and there is only the knowledge of nature, which is science. So we're all natural scientists. So that's what they are. Now, but the thing is they know how to harness it for evil purposes. It's like, a guy with a sharp knife, knows how to use it to kill people, but a little old lady who works for the poor people, she knows how to butter bread to make sandwiches to feed the poor people. So a knife can be stigmatized as something evil, or it can be idolized as something great when used properly. So that's all it is. It's just they are a group of thugs that have appropriated the good name of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and all of these philosophical sciences. That's all they are. When you turn them into religions, then they become something toxic. Then they become something neurotic and evil and despotic. But if you look at their books, like when you read the Bible, it's like If I read 10 minutes of the Bible, it's just like Shakespeare. I go to heaven. It's such a heavenly book because I know how to read it. When it says there that God killed 1,000,000 Philistines and his angel destroyed Sennacherib's army, 175 soldiers, and all this destruction, I know that it's not literal. I know that it's poetry, and I know how to read the true meaning of it, and it's all beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I love the way he said, can't be taken, it's literal, it can't be taken literally.
Yeah, it's literary.
Yeah, literary.
Can't be taken literal. Exactly.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And that's the thing though, right? They don't let us, or they don't want people to interpret it. That's why they get the men in dresses up the front of the church to tell you what everything means. Just, so to keep you off the course.
Oh, brother, my greatest satisfaction is to be able to share what the Bible in particular says the correct way. There's no more satisfaction that I can get than talking about these things. That is the ultimate for me.
Mm-hmm. And when most people, I've got friends, Santos, who, are Christian, and they have no idea that the books, the Bible, is like an astrological journey. And I bring that up with them. They look at me like I'm crazy.
Yep. Well, always remember to show them Job 38:32. Job 38:32, where God says, hey, Job, do you know the Mazzaroth? In other words, do you know the zodiac? Because if you don't, you're a dunce and you ain't going to get through the pearly gates. You must know my Mazzaroth. I put it up there, not the devil. You see these people who say, oh, the devil made astrology. The devil made shit. Because for a start, the devil is the half of Jesus, which is the demiurge. And without the other half, one half can't make shit. It's like saying blue shift made the whole world. Blue shift can't do anything without red shift. There are two energies, red and blue, that make all the transverse electrical waves of the material universe. One cannot do anything without the other. You cannot make a baby without a woman. A woman cannot make a baby without a man. So to say that the devil made astrology is telling half-truths, which are what we call lies.
What I love the best is it's, the story of the birth of Christ, right? The three magi follow the star, right? Astrology, but then it tells you what astrology is evil. Well, how does that work, right? Astrology led them to Jesus, to the Christ, apparently, in their story, but it's evil. It just doesn't make sense.
Actually, Cambell, here's an interesting thing about that. Nowhere in the Bible is astrology condemned. Only astrologers are condemned. Right, so let's talk about this. All right. God condemns, here are all, I'm going to give you every group and entity that God condemns in the Bible. God condemns his own people, the Israelites. God condemns his own priests thousands of times in the Bible. He condemns his own priests. God condemns his own judges. He condemned, Samson. He condemned Samson. He let him be blind and he let him be killed. He was a judge of Israel. I can name a whole bunch other. I won't go in, but all Bible students know this. God condemned his kings. Many kings were killed. King Saul was killed by God. God has condemned everybody, including astrologers in the Bible. Why are the astrologers the only ones that are isolated? Doesn't Jesus condemn the lawyers? Woe unto you, lawyers. Woe unto you, Pharisees. Woe unto you, scribes. Woe unto you, Sadducees. Well, that's everybody. Why is it that only astrologers get isolated? Oh, but see, it says in the Bible there, it says God condemns the astrologers. Yes, he does. I do too, because half the astrologers out there are charlatans. First of all, they're Copernicans, so they're as dumb as dog shit. Number one, right? They still don't even know that we're in a geocentric system. I condemn them. I condemn astrologies, but I don't astrologers. But I don't condemn astrology because I would be the most stupid imbecile in the world. Why would I condemn the mother of all sciences? So why would the Bible condemn astrology, which it doesn't? Nowhere in the Bible will you find anywhere where it condemns astrology. You will find countless references where it condemns astrologers because they're idiots. But astrology isn't. Astrologers are, right? Like, all right, the science of mechanics. All right, the whole world has mechanics, and mechanics fix cars. Now, there's good mechanics and there's bad mechanics. Well, what happens when you come across a bad mechanic? Well, you don't go back to him again. What happens when you come to a bad doctor or a bad dentist? Well, you label him a quack and you never go back to him again, right? So does that make dentistry evil? Does that make doctors evil? Does that make does a bad lawyer make law unworthy of making causing you to be unlawful? No. Jesus condemned lawyers, but he said, I came to fulfill the law. So he was a lawful man. We're talking about literary Jesus. We're not talking about literal Jesus because that didn't happen. So, but the model of Jesus. So the model of Jesus was a lawful man, showing that we should be lawful. But lawyers, well, they're a bunch of hypocrites. And they're going to be the first ones with the priests that will be going to hell. You know, I mean, literally.
Yeah. And
So,
when you speak of hell and I've heard you touch upon, people have asked you, is that a place, a physical place that people go? And you sort of said it's more of a condition.
well, it is. It's first a condition, then it's a place. Let me explain. We all know that diseases are mental and emotional. It's the mind that makes a disease. That's why a doctor will often say, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What's problems do you have in your life? Because then they'll know, oh yes, okay, this guy's left yin kidney is going to be, his endocrine system is going to be sick because he's bitter about his brother who stole his money 10 years ago, and bitterness causes leukemia, causes the spleen to be depleted, it causes the circulation not to flow. He knows all the symptoms, so he wants to know what's going on mentally. So the disease begins in the mind. It's a condition, but then it's a location, because now it becomes local. It's in your liver. Now you have cancer of the liver, but it started as a condition. So what I'm saying is, if you look around, you'll find that there are people who are like this all day long, they're in heaven. There are people who are like this, confused, they're in limbo. And then you see people who are like, fucking this and fucking angry and blah, 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 well, they're in hell. But they're not literally in hell, they're just living on their farm. But they're in the condition of hell. It's a condition. They're carrying that condition, that frequency of hell. Yeah. So hell is everywhere, but so is purgatory and so is paradise. So it's not really physically a place, but you bring it to a place.
So, and can I ask, practices like eating meat you know, these things that are no good for us, as we know. When you're looking at the chakras, Santos, they're going to, I mean, as a society, we can see that where they're vibrating, they're already vibrating so down low in the chakras. Is there a way out for these people? You know, I myself used to be a meat eater, and mate, it's funny. I can still remember when you looked at me, bro, and I wasn't eating much meat. I'd made that conscious, like I was still eating a little bit, and you looked at me, man, and that was it. That was it. That look you gave me, it was like, mate, you know the truth, and you're eating meat. I just see that in your eyes, and from that day, I went and got that bowel restore, and the journey began, my man, and ain't looked back. You know, and I can feel that energetic shift, mate. People who see me now and compare me to who I was 10 years ago as a real estate agent, living a totally different life and totally different person, mate. So yeah, I've grown a lot, of even like, yeah, those 6 years since we've known each other, man. You know, I guess, yeah, like I was saying, people can change, mate. I think if they've gone and got the V though, they're probably not.
Ooh, bad. The V, the test, and the C, all of that will shift your soul from its center, and to return back to that, you may have to reincarnate. I don't think there's a chance unless you do a lot. You'll have to spend the rest of your days cleansing your soul to get back to where you were, because that technology is specifically designed to destroy your God connection, your divinity, and bring you to the animal realm where you'll be reincarnating. All they're doing is they're setting up, the reset is all about poisoning people's DNA, disconnecting them from God, so they've got a whole bunch of sheeple for their next slave system. Just like they did in 1870 with all the orphanages, all those orphans that were shipped into these empty cities around the world. They're planning to do the same thing. They're going to restock all these empty cities once, you know, if they get their way, which they won't, once they zap all the cities and destroy everybody in them, and then repopulate them with country children, and then start again, and another debt slave system. That's what they think they're going to do, because they've been doing it for thousands of years, and they think this time they're going to get away with it again. Well, guess what? They're not.
Well said, mate. And would you like to elaborate on that a little bit, Cambell? Mate, we sort of just, on the Syncretism chat then, they were sort of talking about what, you know, they were reading tarot cards and seeing what could play out. What do you see happening, my friend? Yeah, I know it's a big question.
Yeah, as soon as this thing started in March, God, what was it, 2020? Yeah, I mean, I picked it straight away, because obviously every government, right, did the exact same thing at the exact same time. I went, oh God, here we go. But we win from day dot. I've known that we win. That's why I'm here, right? And if you look at it that way, right? If time in the 3D world is this constant line, well, if we lost, we wouldn't be here. It's just, that's just it, right? This timeline wouldn't be going. So we definitely win. This is why we're living in clown world. It's literally trying to wake up as many people as, the universe, the source is trying to wake up as many people as it can before this shift happens. So that's why we're now seeing stupidity everywhere. It's like, well, are you awake now? And it's like, okay, so, the president's a pedophile. Look at all the kids. Are you awake now? Oh, his son's a crackhead. Are you awake now? Look at all this stupidity. But on the other side, the dark forces are doing the same. Excuse me. With the V's, right? And that's the only way they can keep people down. And it's like Santos said, they want their slave population, and they know that they can't get us. And in the end, this is all choice. right? They can't actually push anything. And everyone's going, but they're pushing. Well, they're not. Everyone at the end of the day has had the choice to say yes or no. And everyone who's gone and got it has said yes. And the problem is people who are in that mindset that they would believe that and go along with, government, that they're never going to, be the people that are rising and hitting enlightenment. And especially with the V, I really, unfortunately don't. Yeah, I think they're just going to have to recycle and hopefully learn their lesson. But I mean, the big thing is, it's focus, right? We've just got to focus on what we want. There's so many whisperers around at the moment and so many naysayers. I call it like the Mr. Smith complex, right? In the Matrix, and he's walking down the street and then suddenly everyone turns into Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it now. We're seeing it in the truth community. We're seeing it just in comments, but with creators too. Everyone's, oh, he's a shill, they're a shill, don't listen to them. Oh, they've got an agenda, blah, blah, blah. Look, all that's saying is, I'm so feeble-minded, I can't think for myself. Look at all these people who can influence me. Oh, poor little me. That's all you're saying, guys. If you're smart and autodidactic, right, and you know who you are, who can influence you? I mean, stop telling the world that you're a slave. I don't get it. It's all spells, right?
Yeah.
So we're all going to end up where we believe we end up. So, choose your side. But I mean, I think if you haven't chosen by now, it's probably too late. This thing's coming fast now. Look at the momentum, man. This is, February's gonna, by the end of February, in 2 weeks' time, this is going to be a different place. Serious.
Oh yeah. Wow. It's fast. It's very, very fast, man. I've never seen anything so fast in my life. The changes are just exponential and multiplicative. They're not even additive. If you add 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, you're always adding 1. But this is multiplicative. One day, one thing is added. The next day, it's 3. The next day, it's 20. The next day, it's 100. It's multiplicative.
Yeah.
Growth.
Is that me, Boing?
I've seen something weird in like I don't watch movies, mate. Like I've said that before, but lately I've got, I don't know what that is. Is that one of yours?
Is that me?
It's not me.
I can't say anything. I don't think it's me. God.
It's weird.
I
Well,
guess
mate,
that was telling us we're on topic.
I was watching this documentary on, I'll say it, on Netflix, and I've only been doing it because I've got a little bubba and I've been sitting there putting it to sleep, and I'll go through my old world photos and I sort of just have it on in the background, something small to just have a light on. Anyway, mate, the start of this documentary the other day, it's happened a couple of times, the subtleties that they're doing in their movies. This guy just randomly gets one of those tests up the nose at the start of the movie, and then it goes on and nothing happens after. It just goes on with the movie. So they're putting these little things in that, like, no, it's normal to just go and get a thing up your nose, and you know what I mean, like it's nothing. And people like this programming that's there, and we've seen this stuff for years, but they're shifting, like you said, this is going real quick, and it's happening on Netflix now. There's the frog. Back.
What is that?
What is that?
No idea. I'll go on.
Yeah, I'll just
silence everything I've got on.
shut everything. Yeah, I've only got one screen open.
Shut everything down.
Oh,
God. Something happened.
There we go. Santos, we touched upon before, mate. We didn't really go right into it with men today. I say this a lot on Instagram and stuff, where have all the men gone? I know where they've gone, but
the skinny jean shop.
Hey, I've got some skinny jeans.
Yeah.
You're not wearing them.
But mate, I think guys are literally at home, for one, wanking themselves to death. Not only that, the knowledge it's not there, and I say this, people talk about this this thing we're experiencing now is the biggest hoax of all time, you know, and how could they all be in on it? And mate, then we look at the geocentric world and they ask, how can they all be in on it? Like, it's the knowledge, it all spawns back to that, you know, and once you get your head around that and the claustrum that comes down the spine that Santos talks about, and the, you know, as we, that's where the Christmas tree comes from, with the star of Polaris above it, and all this sort of stuff that men don't know. When they're not taught this stuff, you know. And mate, I've got my two boys are pretty, they're working on non-ejaculation, you know, ejaculation, I should, you know. His mates are even, he's talking to it about his mates, which is guys that are 19. It's pretty cool, man, that they're having these conversations, you know. But you know, we could really, for anyone watching, you know, the importance of this stuff to get your boys educated, and girls, like Santos said, that anyone you kiss, you're carrying on their DNA, their history, their family history, you know.
Yeah, that's why we kiss our families.
Yep. Because you strengthen the bonds of the DNA. That doesn't mean to say, though, that you know, it's bad to kiss everybody. I mean, if you love if you have a partner that you love, the best thing you can do is exchange DNA with her, because now you become one strong unit where you've joined two family lines and you've blessed those lines and you've blessed each other with each other's DNA, because their DNA will complement your DNA and it will give you things that you're lacking and you will give them things that they are lacking. So this exchange of DNA is not all bad, but it's the bad ones that we've done that will hurt us. It's the ones, the mistakes. It's the you know, it will be the ones that weren't such good choices that we made in the past. Those will hurt us. It's simple. I mean, it's like you know, an accident. You know, you have an accident, it hurts you. Well, you can't go back and fix that. It's too bad. You were careless. You weren't concentrating. You saw that the dangerous object was there and you didn't take it out of the way, and then you went and stood on it and cut your foot. Well, it's your own fault. It's the same with relationships. We do get warnings, you know. It might be, you know, when you're 19 or 20, you go to a pub and you see this really good looking chick. She comes on to you, but then you get this sort of you get this warning, alarm bells, sort of like, I think this chick's a bit crazy. Yeah, no, I don't think she's for me. But you go ahead and sleep with her, right? And then 3 weeks later, she calls you and says, I'm pregnant. And then you go to the doctor and he says, you've got syphilis. Have you been with someone who's got syphilis? And she had syphilis. Now she's pregnant with your baby. So you've got syphilis. Now you've got a child you don't want. Those are the ones. Those kind of, that's what I'm saying. All of that, we've done a lot of that. Now it's time to purify. We can. The moment you decide that you're going to purify yourself from all of that rubbish is the moment the journey begins, but it will take a long time. And it depends on how many bad of these experiences you've had, and it depends on how deep you went and how much it affected you, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of factors, mitigating factors, extenuating factors to consider, but there's never any room for you to sit there and worry about this or feel guilty or shame. Oh, I slept with a prostitute. You know, I was desperate and oh, I'm ashamed of. You don't have to be ashamed of anything you've done. You know, there's forgiveness simply means it's a poetic way of saying that you've decided that you are not going to linger in ignorance anymore, and you are going to take your own shit responsibly.
Yeah, whatever happened to courting, right? and to
Yeah.
people bringing their suitors, is that the word, to their families. That used to happen so that the family could pretty much energetically feel, okay, they're a match for us or they're not. You got everyone in, and if the family said nah, sorry, then they didn't join, and that's how it should be, right? But of course, all the programming of the 70s and the 80s, right? Everyone had to be a rebel. Everyone had to hate their parents. Everyone had to, do things different for their parents, and that's how we kind of got here, right? And at the same time, that's how they, castrated the men, right?
Yes.
Like we're not allowed to be men. We're not allowed to be emotional because that's sissy. All this, which is obviously one of the biggest strengths, but also, I mean, you can't take your kids to work obviously anymore, but disciplinary, you can't discipline your kids or anything, or even hardly teach them. Everyone will just come around and say you can't. I mean, and I don't believe in hitting kids, but the whole thing, right? It's been taken away. There's no father figure anymore. It's all this thing of, everything's got to be a partnership and rah, rah, rah. And no, men have a role and women have a role. If a child is emotionally distraught and they need a safe place to lie, they're going to go to their mum, not their dad, because that's the person who's best for that job. If they're having a hard time and they need to know how to go forward in the world, well, then they go to their dad, right? We can't do each other's jobs, and this is the whole. And we see it in the the media, right? The goddess of illusion at the moment. This whole melding of the sexes and no sexes, and now there's an emoji, and I'm not joking, an emoji of a pregnant man.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
All right, and so there's definitely attack on the male on every. It's on both, right?
It's demented.
Yeah.
It's demented, man.
It is demented.
It's demented. When I see those fat old men in dresses reading books to little kids, I seriously just want to go in and just beat the crap out of them.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely take them outside of the village and stone them to death, like the Israelites were told to do. Remove these demons from your midst, stone them to death. If your son is a glutton, stone him to death. This is literary, of course, but what it means, what it shows is that we need to be vigilant in our communities and not let these degenerates pervert our little children. It is disgraceful. Be on guard and always call these people out. Never let them, if you see them talking in the school, just get in there, interrupt it, stop them, warn the children, tell them, do not listen to these people. These people are degenerate demon liars. This is disgusting what they're doing. It is filthy. These are putrid individuals who are demonized. And let the demons inside of these degenerates, let them poop shit themselves for fear, because we are billions of times more powerful than their demons. Billions.
Yep.
Oh, it sounds so good, man. I was listening to you the other day, Santos, ripping into the Popey poo, and as you described him, wow, mate, you made me laugh. It was just so good to hear. And then another one, you were talking about the mother, the Rothschild's mother. Oh, wow. I think I kept rewinding it, mate, like 15 times. And you've got to hear this podcast, mate, and where he just rips into the mother of the Rothschilds. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit, Santos?
Yeah, well, the mother of the Rothschilds was a whore, because they're all sons of whores, aren't they? They're interbred. So that proves that the mother was a whore. And she said, if my sons don't want any wars, there won't be any wars. Well, that's a whore. Simple.
Yep.
1 + 1 = 2.
Yep.
So yeah, they'll have to either change their name or be called sons of whores from the rest of eternity, because I say so. I said it, therefore it's going to be that way. In the new world that's coming, when we write the history books again, we will have the Rothschilds there, and we will go and look up the Rothschilds, and I will make sure it says Sons of whores. All the Rothschild women were whores, sluts, degenerate hags.
So good.
Period. That's
Ah,
it. Because
yep.
that's what they are. Well, you can see. I mean, look at them. Have you ever seen a good-looking Rothschild?
Oh,
They're all as ugly as Labrador shit.
yeah. And what about the educated, mate? Let's talk about the because I know you love having a chat with doctors and stuff like that, mate, who have been through the education system. I think you, again, another little giggle I had, I think you described it to, you'd rather have a chat with a piece of dog poo than talk to someone who has a PhD.
Oh, yeah. One thing I can't stand is intellectuals. I can only talk to intelligent people. Intellectuals are, well, you know, they're like an incarnated baboon scratching his ass and thinks his, you know, his opinions mean something and they don't. And that's what an intellectual is. Last thing you ever want to do is try and intellectualize with these people. Just walk away. They're not intelligent at all. There's no intelligence there, no soul, just a whole bunch of indoctrination, which they call education. You see, I'm educated. I have a PhD, and you know, I'm obviously a superior here. So you need to respect me for my education. No. You don't respect people for their education. You respect people for their principles, for their virtues, for their love, for their wisdom, for their understanding, for the truth that they bear in their heart, for their good soul and devotion to the divine, not for education. Education is like respecting someone because they've got a lot of money. Well, I know a lot of mafia bosses that have got a lot of money and they've killed a lot of innocent people. Do I respect them because they've got a lot of money? No, that's not a criteria for respect. Neither is education. Education is indoctrination, which makes a jackass out of you because it has nothing at all to do with intelligence.
Yeah.
Nor reality.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. No relation. Totally disconnected. They are disconnected. They're even so disconnected from humanity and from reason and common sense that they just go on this trip of their PhD education and they go believing in this story. You know, it's a whole story. Then they die, and all they've got on their tombstone was Dr. PhD, blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, their corpses are rotting away and they're becoming unknown as the minutes go by, and they will be unknown because they didn't do anything at all for the benefit of humankind, except for farting in the wind with their intellectual vomiting over other people. And no one remembers what they said anyway, because they just think, what an arrogant creep. So people are only paying them lip service. They're only paying them, you know, a little bit of sort of superficial outward respect. And, oh, yes, sir, Mr. PhD. Yeah, but behind their back, I mean, they talk rubbish about them. So everything they do with all their intellectual circus show that they put on is just a farting in the wind. That's all it is. That's all it will amount to.
Yeah.
We, on the other hand, what we are putting out is indelible. It will be here forever. It will bless people forever. Whatever show we do, whatever interview we do, someone will get something out of it, and they will take that and they will exponentially grow and bless themselves because of the seeds we planted. These intellectuals who are farting in the wind, they are doing nothing for themselves, nor for their God, nor for humanity. It's futile, totally and utterly futile that they even drew breath and lived and walked on this plane. Their life amounts to nothing.
Exactly. And Santos, mate, I came from a background where, you know, a family who, you know, my father doesn't believe in a creator, and, you know, I come from a real, you know, meat eating footy head sort of type family, and I was always the black sheep. But mate, and now, you know, I've, as I said, I've made that switch, and mate, well, what any advice you can give for, you know, people who feel like it's, you know, they want to step up to the plate a little bit, who are sort of sitting on the fence, mate. There's a lot of fence sitters out there. And I mean, is there any advice we can give to these types, mate? I've heard you say that there are people that we can sort of help. Then there are some that are too far gone. Yeah, like, is there anything you can sort of, because mate, I can, when this all sort of happened, I was really condemning people for their stupidity.
I've done so much of that. I've done too much of that.
Easy
Yeah.
to do.
It's not good.
No, and mate, I've lost all my family, you know, my yeah. So, you know, I've tried. I don't know if my tact or approach was all wrong.
Yeah.
It's
I've
when you
been
call them
brutal.
bastards, they get annoyed, I think.
Oh God, I've been brutal to so many people. I've been brutal to my best friends, my mother, my father, my family, my spouses, my wives. I've been brutal for this, all for being basically, essentially driven by perfectionism, you know, and trying to do better, but knowing all the time that I can't reach these very, very high standards of perfection that I'm setting for myself. Therefore, I'm whipping my own self and brutalizing myself for not reaching the levels that I preach, and knowing full well that I'm just a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And so that brutal way that I'm treating other people, that's just because that's how I'm treating myself. And then when I came to the realization, dude, if you don't love yourself, no one's going to love yourself, and you're not enjoying your life. You're sitting there miserable because you wake up in the morning, someone sends you a message and tells you that you're a demon because you teach astrology, and you're a dunce because you teach flat earth. And then you reply to them and you get angry, and then you start swearing and cursing. Then you go for a walk at the beach, and all you do is you think, oh, that person, oh, next time I'm going to, oh, I wish I could. And by the time you spend 2 hours on the beach, you haven't got any benefit from it at all because you've been miserable. Then you get home and you're tired because you've been angry, and your liver gets toxic, and your blood gets poisoned, and you get tired, and you wonder why you're tired. And I just got sick of it. I thought, I got to stop this, man. I got to stop hating on myself and others, and just let the love flow. And then let's see what love feels like, rather than all this hate and fear. But my advice to people starting is, and there's only one thing you need to do, man. There's only one thing. It's simple. Get knowledge. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Learn things that you were told in church, for instance. Everything that you were told in school or in church, don't learn that. That's pseudoscience. Learn that. Because why? Because you don't have to believe it. It's not going to change your beliefs. If you learn everything possible about let's say you're a globie, right? You're a diehard globie. I'm not going to change my view. It's a globe. I believe it. Blah, blah, blah. Right. Why would that prevent you from spending a half an hour a day learning about the flat earth? Because it's not going to change it's not going to change you or your system, your belief system. It's only going to add to your knowledge base. Knowledge is not heavy. It doesn't, I speak, for instance, I can speak in 8 languages. I don't sit around going, oh shit, man, my shoulders are sore. Those are too many languages. I think I better stop. Let me see. I think I'll stop speaking Italian and Spanish now. I'll throw those out because I need to lighten the load of knowledge that I have. Yeah, right. I'm going to stop Italian and Spanish. See how that helps me, and see if my shoulders stop. What you know is not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you if you learn about Islam. It's not going to hurt you if you learn about what the Jews teach. It won't hurt you if you learn about the Mayan calendar. It's just knowledge. It's just like, for instance, is it going to hurt you if you meet Bob one day? Oh, hello, Bob. Now you know Bob. Has that changed anything about you knowing Bob? No, you just know Bob. And then tomorrow you're going to meet Sue. So then you'll know Sue. Is that too heavy? Does a day come when you say, right, I'm not going to meet anybody today because I've got enough weight of how many people I know. I know 640 people. I don't think I can know another one person because I just can't carry that on my shoulders. It's just learn, get knowledge, because what'll happen is this. All the paying attention you've been doing since you were a child, all those knowledge bits that you get and you acquire along the way are going to help you join all these dots, and eventually you will come to the truth, the universal truth that exists on your own. That's it.
Yep. Indeed, that's it. Get as many perspectives as you can and don't judge any of them. Just take them on.
Just learn them, witness them.
Yep.
Don't believe them. Don't believe anything I say. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Things can just be interesting. They don't have to be right or wrong.
Yeah, I know Italian. I don't believe it. I don't believe in Italian. I speak English. I don't believe in it. There's no belief in English that I have. It doesn't exist, but I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this whole people being scared of knowledge, I just don't get it. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like people are literally, but I think what they're scared of is being, sorry, can you hear me? Yeah? They're being scared of, being proven wrong, right? Because they hang on so they just hang on to this, what they think is knowledge, but it's just someone else's opinion. That's all that is. It's not even knowledge. And people are just so butthurt. Oh, if I read this, whoa, I could be wrong. And then what? Oh my God, my ego would get hurt. Oh, what would I do with myself? I guess I just have to crawl into a corner and that'd be it. I mean, it's just sad.
Well, mate, the truth hurts, bro. We always go back to it. The truth hurts their little bottoms, and
be autodidactic.
Mate, be autodidactic. Santos, I know you left school, 14, mate.
14 and a half, yep. Yeah. Proud of it.
And yourself.
14 and a half, wow.
And Cambell, yourself, mate, what was your schooling education, mate? Or indoctrination?
Went to year 12, and I went to, I think it was 10 schools in 3 states, lived in about 12 houses by the time I was 16. I mean, which was kind of good because I never got it. They couldn't get me with their indoctrination, right? Every time, I just keep leaving, and so nothing got instilled. And so I had to learn to think on my feet and be, autodidactic. Plus, I had to learn to stand up and all that, being the new kid. So, but yeah, it was definitely it was definitely a fragmented education. And when you get that, you just figure out, well, I'm just going to educate myself. And apart from the fact that they would never, every school I went to pretty much, it's like, oh, choose your classes. And I'd always be like, ancient history. Have you got ancient history? And most of the time they didn't. And when they did, I'd be like, yeah, ancient history. And I remember in year 9, I think it was, I got into ancient history. I'm like, oh my God. And I was so happy. And at the start of the year, there wasn't enough people. So we put you in history. So I spent and so the amount of times I learned about bloody World War II, and well, that's all I learned. That's history. World War I, World War II. That's all they teach you.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you might get a bit of Napoleon, but I mean, that's it. I mean, it's just indoctrination. What's the history of men? Oh, war. You just go around and kill each other. Oh, okay.
But mate, I studied ancient history for years at school, went to like a private boys' school in Sydney and studied ancient history. It had never made sense to me. I could never piece it all together, you know, and again, you're just given all these historical figures like Caligula and so forth. And, you know, and mate, we just used to write and write and write and write, and that just essays, and none of it was retained. You know, none of that information's true.
Because you can't discuss topics if it's about indoctrination, right? If you start discussing topics with your students, they might start thinking and asking uncomfortable questions.
Well, they got to me year one, mate, which I mentioned before. Year one, they made me repeat. And the reason was because I asked too many questions. They said, Gary asked too many questions. You know, and mate, that's what they do to these kids. They make us feel silly.
I remember in year 9, like I had to go and like literally, like I was just, because I just wasn't interested in all the crap. And literally there was a big meeting and my parents had, you know, I was at a private school. My parents had to go in and talk to the teachers and that. And they're like, oh, we're worried about, you know, your academic future and that. And then they're like, oh, we think, you know, we think you might be struggling. So we're going to give you an IQ test. So they give me this IQ test.
Geez, that happened to me too, mate.
Wow. Like, oh yeah, well, you know, you can just sort of, okay, no worries. You can say that. I'm like, what did I get? What did I get? And they wouldn't tell me. And like a few months later, I'm like to my dad, I'm like, what the hell did I get on this test? And he's like, oh, well, you know, we're not supposed to tell you, but you know, let's just say that you shouldn't be having any problems at school. And I'm like, I don't have problems. I'm just asking questions, and they got the pro. So literally, because I wanted to learn more, they literally tested my IQ.
Yeah.
And then they went, oh shit, we can't use that against him. What do we do?
Funny, man. Same thing happened to me. I went for I think I've said it in another podcast, but yeah, went for a job as a plant mechanic at Patrick Stevedore's, like fresh out of school. 5,000 kids went for it, and I got it. And they pulled me aside first day and said, mate, we're not, your IQ is really high. And that's the first time I'd ever heard of it, mate. My whole life I thought I was dumb. But I've always had this ability. It's funny with music, mate. I've got a full music studio in my head. I've got every track. I can run through bass lines, add guitars, drop in drums. And it used to annoy the shit when I was in bands. It used to annoy the shit out of people in the band because I'd go, mate, just go to that change and then fucking back into that middle 8 and then we'll go out with the outro or whatever. And they're like, no, that's not going to work. And I'm like, mate, I've been through it. We don't have to spend an hour on it. You know, just do what I fucking say. It never went down well. But yeah, it's so interesting. That's what they do to kids like us, mate, with they make you feel stupid and, you know.
Yeah, I had the same thing with a job. I can't remember what it was. But it was the same thing, like some, you know, mass application thing for some job I didn't want. And yeah, like they got it to me, called me up to the office and they're like, are you sure you really want this job? You know, we've looked at your stuff and, you know, maybe you should be looking at something a bit more challenging and all this. And I'm like, fuck, mate, I don't even want to be here. I just doing this because I got to live.
A job, yeah, fucking jobs, mate. You go there to earn a living. That's where you put the ashes of the dead. Love it.
This is the thing. I made a conscious decision that I was not into having a job that would become my life. I was just not interested. I'm not interested in becoming a systemite. And so all these things, oh, you should be this, you should be this. And I'm like, why? How about I just be Cambell and I live? How about that? And no. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? I don't know, but I'll do it, you know. So it's, you know, and when you think about it, the whole thing of, you know, a job and what are you going to be when you grow up? It's to make you become something, right? And that means that that's making you something that you're not.
It's a label.
Yep.
Yeah, mate. And then they do these jobs till they're retired or retarded. And then, you know, and then you enjoy your life from 75. You can, like, wise old men have gone. They've, you know, there we go.
There's a frog.
Frog's back. Yeah. The wise old men gone.
Mm.
And
That's
yeah,
why they have
guys,
like
mate,
sun
these-
lounges on cruise ships, right? Because no one can bloody walk anymore. They got to lie down. Oh, this is great. Wish I could lift my head and see the view, because they're all dead.
Yeah, mate, there'd be no Bunnings if there wasn't retired people. Or they don't know what to do. I got
No, they
neighbours,
don't.
They blow morning, night. They pick up every leaf.
Oh, their lawn every day.
Just insane.
Yeah, they wait up. It's like, oh, the paper's been delivered. I can go and get it. Yay.
Yes. Oh.
You know,
I used to get the paper delivered. Can you believe it? I used to go to the football. I was an Essendon supporter. I had my membership, you know, $105 a year back in the day. You know, I used to go and watch the Bombers. And when they lost, I was just miserable for a week. I was like, don't talk to me, shut the F up. But when they won, it was like, yeah, you know.
Isn't it bizarre? Isn't it
I
bizarre?
can't believe I did it. I can't believe it.
I've been there, and then I'd finish, and then Dad, you know, you'd get the hot dog, the meat at Frankfurt,
Yeah.
you know, with the beer.
And you'd be yelling,
beer over the onions.
Yeah, I remember I used to like to yell at Scott Lucas. Back in 2000, Matthew Lloyd was kicking 100 goals, and I think he kicked 100 goals that year, 2000, and Scott Lucas kicked over 50. It was the first time in history that you've had two forward men that kicked over 50 goals, won 100 and 150. Anyway, I used to get angry because I used to hate he was always greedy. He'd hang on to the ball for just a little bit too long, and then someone would come and tackle him from behind. And I was like, Scott Lucas, you freaking idiot. You need to get off the freaking team. And he was my favorite guy to attack. But here you are, you know, you're growling at your own team as if you own them, as if they're yours, you know. And the thing is, the next year, there's 10 different players from all other different teams which you hate, and now you love those players because they're on your team.
Yeah, classic.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, the whole bread and circus routine.
Bread and circuses, yeah, man.
Oh
Beer
man,
and meat pies.
it's, you know, my old man would so he used to play for the Roosters when, like, in Sydney where I grew up, it was all rugby league. And
That's who I used to go for, the Roosters.
Yeah, the Roosters. You know, Dad used to play for the Roosters when I many years ago for a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mate. Like, I was playing, even myself played footy for years. I was playing for East Juniors and stuff like that, and then, you know,
the Roosters are the most prestigious club in all of Australia now.
Yeah, my mum and Dad met at East Leagues Club. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dad's advice growing up, mate, was, you know, hit him on the chin. Ever got any problems? But then I'm serious, mate. You knock him out. Like, what's the problem? He's a little boy, timid little boy, sensitive boy. And mate, it used to terrify me. There was kids at school who had like chin hair. And I had I didn't, you know, I was a late developer. And these kids were terrifying, mate. You know, then Dad's like, you just made any problems with anyone, you just knock them out, you know. Oh, Neanderthal, you know.
Yeah.
Classic.
Hey, do you guys know the comedian Steve Hughes?
Yeah. He's awesome.
Hey, isn't he good when he said, when he
is that
says,
the Aussie guy?
Yeah. I like when he says, I grew up in Australia, you see, and I was kind of a misfit because in Australia there's you grow up and there's only two things to do, sports and racism, and I wasn't any good at either of them. I didn't know what to kick. Anyway, and then I didn't know what to kick, you know. And he says, and all these tough blokes would come up to me, "Hey, Hughesy, you're not playing football, eh? Hey, what's the matter with you? You're a girl, are you?" And he'd turn around and says, "No, because it hurts." Hurt.
Oh, mate,
I don't
it's
want to
hurt.
get hurt. I said, what do you do then? He says, well, I'm in the cooking class. So you're in the cooking class, are you, with the girls? And he's like, yeah, I'm icing cakes with 30 girls, and you guys are showering together.
Yeah, that's it. Who's the smart one? Yeah, it's so funny, that racism, man. It's at my school. Wow, it was really, really, yeah. You had the surfies, you had the, the wogs,
Yeah, well, I was two things, Gary. I was a Jehovah's Witness and a WOG.
yeah, combination.
I had two stigmas.
Yeah,
I had to grow up with that.
yeah, man. It's real. And the funny thing is, I remember this Chinese kid, because where there was one white kid who was like, they were twins, but they were like the Cray twins. They were slightly scary. They were about 6 and 7. They were both really nice guys. They grow older, but at school, man, they were, in when you're dissecting rats, one of them would go around breaking legs, going like that sort of scary guys, mate. But yeah, one day in class, I can remember one of these Asian kids, you had to say something you loved and hated. And this Asian kid stood up and said, oh, I hate, Fred, blah, 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 Smith. And then Fred Smith got up in the middle of the class and just, I've never heard a punch like it. And it was like hitting, it just was this kid's face just swole up. And the teacher didn't do a thing, mate. And the irony is, this dude who punched the Asian in the head ended up marrying an Asian girl.
It's I mean, it's all taught. It's all taught. There's no racist babies. It's all taught. And in the end, it's just, because it's not real, it's just hate anything, right? Just pick someone or something to hate. It doesn't really matter. And then you can change your mind. Just pick someone else to hate. Right? Yeah. That's all it is.
That's all it is, man.
Art of war, isn't it? Divide and conquer, divide.
Yeah, well, it's like that story, Lord of the Flies, right? They want us to believe that that's what we are. Leave children alone and they'll turn to psychos. I mean, come on. It's like you leave a baby alone with a bunny and an apple, and it's not going to start trying to kill and eat the bunny, I guarantee you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, this is it. This is the indoctrination, this false demonic indoctrination run by the Freemasons and whoever else, all these creepy organizations. They write all our books and everything like that. And they teach us that we've always been warmongering. There's always been wars. There's always been hatred between nations. There's always been this fear, and there's always been prejudice and racism and intolerance of other religions. Well, that's just not so. I mean, that is completely a lie. In Tartaria, all of those things were worked out. There was harmony everywhere.
That's it, man.
It's when these elite families created these organizations in the late 1700s, and then really kicked the New World Order off in the 1800s, dismantling the magnetic free energy grid, and then changing everything, and then creating an electrical grid that sicknesses and longevity decreased. They took carbon dioxide out of the air. Carbon dioxide is what we need in the air. We don't need to take more out of it. We need to add more in. It's actually carbon dioxide which makes us breathe better. It's not the oxygen. The oxygen's okay. They haven't done anything to the oxygen. They've taken the carbon dioxide out. Carbon and oxygen dioxide, carbon dioxide, when those are combined, the human organism thrives, and that's how they reduced our gigantic bodies and the trees on this realm. That's how they reduced everything to the small stature that we have now, because of one element that they took out of the oxygen, out of the air, carbon dioxide.
And mate, when you talk about like how much we've changed? How much do you think our biosphere's changed, brother?
Immensely, because of the removal of the carbon dioxide, immensely. And that's why, you know, and that's why they've gone after certain trees. Certain trees have are becoming more and more extinct. Like, for instance, the Brazilian rosewood. Every tree, I just learned this recently, every tree actually produces a certain kind of oxygen. They're not all the same. Not every tree produces the same oxygen. So we need all that, the kind of oxygen in the air that the trees give out. We need all the trees back so that we can breathe. We're not breathing fully. Something about the breath of man is what makes one more or less intelligent.
Yeah, hence the masks, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
you can
Dumbing
literally-
people
yes,
down.
just dumbing them right down. And mate, this is just a rosewood. When you said the rosewood, this is a rosewood head plate on this guitar,
Yep.
and
Yep.
that's a rosewood fretboard there,
Yep.
and that's a hardwood, and it's very expensive. Yeah, very
Turn it all
expensive.
round.
Is that all Australian wood?
Yeah, mate, that's all Australian wood. That's a
Good on ya.
Cambell.
Good on you, man.
Yeah,
Nice.
bunya top.
Yep.
So I've got a bunya top there.
Banya? What's banya?
That's a pine.
Oh, yeah, pine. Okay.
Yeah.
Well-
I don't know if you can hear my guitar, it sings, man. I just talk into it. And these things are just like microphones. They're just like, yeah.
Well, I just got my
Oh, come on. Now I've got beard envy and guitar envy, guys. This is not fun.
What do you got there, bro? Oh, is that the one
So
I
this is
played
all-
at your
this-
place?
this is all cedar, man. This is cedar top.
Yeah.
This is a Ramirez. You can see
Yeah, I
there,
think I've-
Ramirez.
Was that the one you had at your place when you lived up here? Yeah, I played that.
Oh
Is that
yeah.
a 7, is it? Or
Hey?
is that a 7 string? Or
No, 6 string.
just
Yeah.
a 6, is it? Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
classical, beautiful guitar. And mate, when I was playing that, I think the old mushies had just kicked in, and the arm of it, I was trying to hold it. It was like a rope. It's like- oh, far out. That was classic, man.
See, I can't play steel string guitars. I can play electric, but I can't play a steel string acoustic. People put them in my hand. They say, "Oh, play us a tune," and I'm like, "I can't play this." But you play the guitar. Yeah, but I can't play. I can't play it. It's got to be nylon string.
Yeah, well, it's the way you play, bro. It's that style, and they're not
Yeah.
made for that. Yeah, yeah. But Santos, mate, I see you're doing huge things with syncretism, mate. And
Oh yeah, brother.
Cambell is on board as a teacher,
Yep.
well, or an instructor, I should say. So
Yep.
I suggest anyone out there who's, as we've talked about, seeking knowledge, these are the guys who will help you going to find the truth. And as I said, the truth hurts. You got to let go of everything. And Santos and his crew are doing amazing things at Syncretism. And do you want to give a quick rundown of what exactly that is, guys? And for the people listening out there, because they've probably heard the term syncretism, but they don't have a full understanding of what it is you guys are doing. So
Yeah.
one of you.
My pleasure. Syncretism is a blessing to humanity. It is the perennial eternal science. It's always been there. It's not mine. It's not Cambell's. It's not anyone's. It is the universe's true natural science teaching. That's all it is. We've just tapped into it. And what we've done is we've created a virtual academy, and that's the beginning. Then we will have real buildings where we will have Tesla coil healing, med beds, hydrogen, water, and everything for people to come physically get healed and learn syncretism. We're going to start that here in Mexico, then we'll go to Costa Rica, then we're going to go to Holland, then we're going to go to Australia. We're going to set up these schools, and the teachers are already being trained. There are thousands of people who are using the Syncretism toroidal field and sine wave method already. They're already trained. There are many, many syncretists being trained over the last 11 years that my channel's been up. So they're already there, ready to go when the new system begins. It already has begun, but I'm talking about when it removes, when the old evil dumbing down system is just totally dismantled because people just don't believe in it anymore. And then syncretism will take over. And people like Cambell who have joined, who are in the first 30 instructors, it's going to grow every day. But people like Cambell and all the other ones that are there, they will go down in history as the founders and as the ones who essentially began this revolution of returning to humanity their rightful knowledge, their rightful understanding of the universe and how things work, and just truth in all of its glory. And we will be able to be proud when we talk to our grandchildren. Rest assured, this will be revolutionary. I'm not going to stop until it's a household word and everybody is blessed by syncretism that wants to.
Yep, definitely. Schools of the new age is what it is, out with the education indoctrination system and in with some real, knowledge, real syncretism.
Yep.
And I'd just say to everyone, if your YouTube feed is anything like mine, it's complete crap, right? You can't even find anything worth watching now. So turn it off. Go over to the Syncretism Society where there's good, accurate truth. Because we talk a lot about don't watch TV, don't watch TV. Oh, it's evil. Well, I've got news for you guys. YouTube is pretty much now TV. It's being taken over. We know, right? There's so much, bloody going on there. They're cutting channels, all this crap. So turn it off. Watch Autodidactic, Truthurts, and Mr. Astrotheology. And when you're done, go to the Syncretism Society. And get some real information. And also, guys, support what you want. You can spend your money supporting, Netflix, or you can support the Syncretism Society. And then just, think about where that's going to end up in a year. Where do you want to be? Netflix world or Syncretism world? Because we've got to support what we want or else it goes away. So get on board, guys. Syncretismsociety.com.
Yeah, man. The more you post our channels and keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, this is how it will grow. Because, the first time you share one of our channels with your friend, they might just go, oh, yeah, okay, so he likes that channel. Big deal. Then you do it next week and the guy goes, okay, that's the same channel he told me about last week. All right, let me click on it. And just do it 100 times. Just keep posting it, post it every day on your media. Post our channels. Let this truth get out, because what happens is when you pour, even if it's just a drop of clean water in a muddy glass, eventually there will be no mud but clean water in that glass. So you've got to keep doing it. You can't just grow a plant and just pour some water on it one day and say, that's it, that's all the water you're getting. You better produce fruit in 3 months' time. You got to water it every day.
Yep.
Indeed. And look how incessant the media is and advertising. They do it, and that's why they get results.
Yeah. How does Coca-Cola get to be the biggest drink on the planet? Well, because they've got Coca-Cola signs on every freaking corner.
That's it.
Advertising.
Yep.
That's how they did it.
Yeah, and there's no everywhere. Like I just bombard. I pick my targets these days, but it's like when you, mate, I used to be in marketing and stuff, and it's not about, there's no one thing that works, you know, it's not about if you do letterboxes drops, or if you do an ad in the paper, or if you do, you know, like a marketing campaign on the internet. It's not a matter of doing one of these things, it's about doing all of them, you know, a little bit of everything. And that, whether that be like we're doing now and talking to people in the street, like Santos said, sharing these vids, it's a matter of doing all these things, you know. We've just, that's why I'm doing it, mate. This is not a popularity contest, as I've said before. I could certainly be doing other things to be more popular.
Yeah, you wouldn't be doing a channel like yours if it was popularity, right?
You know. But yeah, I was just about, oh, that's right, I was about to say, like, yeah, the importance of sharing with I've got an Instagram page called Walton Custom Guitars. Feel free to get on it, guys. I share a lot of truth on there. It started out, you know, as Walton Custom Guitars. I'm heavily monitored on that because I post a lot of truth, and a lot of guys have just, I've seen my followers just go down, 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 and that's okay, because I only want people on there who want to, you know, the ones that don't listen, they're gone. But someone actually messaged me one day and said, mate, I follow your guitar page for guitars. Stop sharing this stuff. You know? And I just wrote, mate, not like, this is more important than guitars. Like, fuck. Like, even now people go, hey, how's your guitar business? I'm like, mate, I don't really give a fuck about my guitar business.
You looked outside recently.
Yeah, you know what I mean? How's your guitar? Well, shit, obviously. Like, God. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, or just in the guitars, or what, like all your favorite bands, hey? Like, you know, Foo Fighters and Buddy Twisted Sister and Alice Cooper and Metallica and Neil Young, and the list goes on. It's a bunch of sellouts, mate.
Oh, Neil Young, what a creep. I will never, ever, ever, ever listen to that.
I'm just
C-U-N-T again. What a dog.
What a piece of shit. Yeah.
What a pig to say, you know, get Joe Rogan off. Neil Young is out forever. I will even eliminate his name from my mind. I'll never listen to him again, ever, ever.
Yeah, I used to really like the Foo Fighters. And they had a show. You can't come in unless you're double V'd, got to show all your stuff. And of course, then the show didn't even go ahead, right? And this has happened about 3 or 4 times. And every time the explanation is, oh, some of the crew caught the V, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, no one turned up because they weren't going with if they had to be V'd. That's what happened.
Exactly. So guess what? Now the Foo Fighters are the Poo Fighters, and they're gone. They're finished. They've cut their own. Poo fighters. That's what they are.
And mate, he did something to get in that position. It's just such a fucking, that whole story with Kurt Cobain, and then, you know, and then shit that
just don't know. Hey,
yeah, and then
like he was supposed to be one of the good guys, and I remember seeing this like interview with him, and he's got like I think he's got like 4 or 5 kids and 3 or 4 daughters or something. And he's got this little van, and he was in there going, oh yeah, I'm the coolest dad around. I've got this little van and I go pick up all the kids. And when I saw that, I was like, haha. And then like now I'm going, oh, hang on. What? Oh, that might not be what we thought it was.
Yeah.
Who's this? Who?
Dave Grohl.
Oh, Dave. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Kurt. Yeah, Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl,
mate, he's not a good man. You don't get in that position. Yeah, you don't become the
lead singer of Foo Fighters.
Oh, God, yeah, right.
Drummer from Nirvana,
yeah, right.
But that's, you just sort of start thinking about these things you saw in the past, and it's like, oh God, that I didn't pick up on it, but now with a bit more info like that could be quite nefarious.
Hey, I doubt that Kurt Cobain would have sold out. He was a true warrior. I love that guy, man.
Yeah, man.
Have you heard that guy speaking truth?
Yeah. But they had to hold him back from interviews. That's why there's so few interviews, because he would just go blah and just let it out. Yeah, couldn't hold him back.
And you know who else? You know who else? Tim Buckley, Jeff Buckley's dad.
Oh yeah, the old man.
You know, Tim Buckley, in 1973, there's an interview you can still find of him where he actually said that all these oil spills that are going on in the world, he said, you know that they've been done deliberately to destroy Mother Earth. He knew this back then, man. They killed him. They whacked him in 75.
Well,
They
then,
whacked
yeah.
Tim Buckley, one
Well,
of the
his
greatest
son
musicians.
died mysteriously too,
And
brother.
then well, his son as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was
I
very
think he was
mysterious.
27 as well, I think.
27 Club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is our last goodbye.
Mhm.
I know, right? I mean, it's like, come on, you couldn't write that script. It's all a script, right?
Yep.
It's,
It is,
Yep.
brother. Wow.
Yep.
And what a way to think of it all. Like all these bands have been put in place for this period of this point to, you know, and all the stars have gone quiet. No one's these, you know, whoever they
and all
are.
the gurus, right? Where are the gurus, right?
Quiet. No one's, you know, it's so
Well-
clear to see what side they're on.
Yeah,
Indeed.
well, Van Halen's come out. Not Van Halen. Van Morrison has come
Yeah,
out
he-
as a truther. Looks like Eric Clapton's talking
Oh,
as well. So
hasn't
that's
he been
good.
affected though, bro?
Huh?
He was really affected by the V.
He got
Yes.
feed, yeah, and then he woke up and went, oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Yep.
Right said,
Um,
Fred.
Who else have we got that's doing good stuff? Eric.
Right said, Fred. If you remember them, they're talking.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Right said, Fred. Remember, I'm too sexy for my, what is it?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Sexy Polish party. We go disco.
The guy from the Matrix. What's that guy's name? Neo.
Keanu?
Oh yeah.
Keanu?
Keanu. Yeah, he's
met
talking
Keanu.
out.
Yeah, I met Keanu. He's in a band called Dogstar. And he
Yeah.
yeah, we were recording in a Sydney studio, and he came in and just sat there and started listening to our tracks. It was classic.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, "Oh, this is cool."
Right.
He wanted to be a muso, bro. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't want, like, I think acting is obviously his, you know, his bread and butter, but I think he would have loved to have been a, you know, maybe
Probably make a better muso. He's a bit of an awkward actor, Keanu. I always wonder how he gets into so many big movies. He's just a bit awkward. I don't know. I'm sure he's much more at home on the stage with a guitar, you know, but you see that a lot, right? All these actors, and then they get famous in that, and all they want to do is play in their band.
Yeah.
You know, like Kevin Bacon and Bruce Willis. You know, there's tons of them. All these bands, and that's all they want to do.
Russell's Crowe.
Russell's Crows.
Russell's
Yes.
Crowe.
God.
I met Russell as well. I met Russell.
That song.
Yeah. One day my ex was her son used to go to Scott's at school with the Russell Crowe's kid, and we went to, she just goes, "Oh, I've got to go and pick my kid up from a party." And then I get to this party and Gaz, this is Russell, this is Gaz. And I was like, "Oh, Rusty. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, true. Okay."
What was he like?
Oh, mate, I think he's like, he looks in all these interviews pretty arrogant. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's hard to,
arrogant.
you know.
Well, he's a Kiwi anyway, mate.
I don't know, because I think he was having issues with his missus at that point as well, and they were in the same room together. So I think there was a little bit
Actually,
more.
he's got an interesting property. He's got that like temple they reckon he built, and it looks very old world. It's like, oh, I built this for $1 million for my wedding. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
So I haven't looked into that, but it could be an old building. But don't they all do that? I mean, just shows it. Like he was just he was on Police Rescue, you know, Rusty. He was just like on ABC.
Romper
Yeah, and then Romper Stomper came out, and that was good. And then literally 1 or 2 movies, and he's buying $100 million properties and stuff. Like they just go. It's so you know, right? They've been. You don't just do that. It's like, oh, okay, here's the deal. You can have whatever you want, millions and millions. You just got to do this.
Yeah, got to do this.
Okay, there you go. And then other actors come up and they're like, oh my God, they're amazing. And then they either disappear or they die. And it's like, okay, they didn't sign the contract.
Yeah.
When I was a muso in Melbourne, we were selling, like I was selling 15,000 CDs a year, you know, making six figures. And I was basically only going out 4 afternoons a week. And I got approached by Sony. They wrote a contract out. They wanted to sign me up. I looked at the contract, and I was semi-awakened back then. I looked at the contract and I said, no, thank you. I had 4 distributor companies that wanted to sign me up, and I was about to sign them. I wanted to, because, you know, I suppose, you know, that's how the industry works, but just something told me not to. Just something didn't let me sign, and I'm glad. Now I know how it all works. I'm glad I didn't. Am I muted?
No. Man, I got a funny story about being signed. Far out. This dude, man, my upbringing was like one of those movies like you watch, you know, where you, you know, parties every weekend, and it was classic. Like I actually had a pretty good upbringing, you know, but we were in this young band, and this dude, they were trippers, these parents, and the mum said, oh, this where we used to rehearse, you know, and the mother said, I've got this guy who wants to sign you. So he came to a gig and he watched us play and he liked us. Then we all had to go around to his house, and he's like, yeah, guys, I want to sign you up. He said, but everything's got to be green. Everything. Like the album cover, just like your clothes you wear. And
what?
Then, yeah, and we walked into
It's got to be the color green. What the hell?
and we've walked into his apartment. This is over at like North Sydney, over the other side of Sydney. So it was a mission for us to all get there. We're like young, you know, 18. You had to get over the other side of the bridge in the harbour at 3:30 or something like this. Walk into this bloke's house and everything's green. But like he'd spent a fortune on it, man. Like it was all interior designed. And then he sat there and we're talking. He's going, yeah, boys, I want to do this, that, and that. And he goes, wait, do you guys like Friends? He's like, it's 8 o'clock. Friends is on. He pulls this, it's like insane. Gets his TV on wheels and quickly wheels this TV in front of us all. And we're all sitting there. And Friends is on. And I just went, fuck, I'm going.
This guy's a Looney Tune. So did he eventually sign Green Day, did he?
Maybe. Could have been, bro. But far out. There's some trippers out there. Love it. You know, and mate, they're certainly not geocentric. You know, all these people are heliocentrists, mate. They're just insane.
Lost in space.
Yeah, bro.
Got problems with their balls.
They don't got no ball.
I love the one, boys. Just quickly, we've been going for a bit, but I just want to say, Dave, I've got Dave Weiss interview coming up, which is awesome.
Oh,
and, yeah, and Dave, I love the way he explains things. And just one fact he says, mate, if these Globers get this in their head, he goes, if you travel, he breaks it down better than this, but he goes, if you're traveling at 3,600 miles per hour, which is faster than anything that we've got here, probably 3 times faster, you know, that we can possibly go. After 35,000 years, you'll only be 1/20th of the way to the closest star, that Alpha Centauri.
Yeah.
Hey? Like,
It's-
good night.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah, brother.
Hey, wouldn't it be appropriate if we finished with Alex's, one of Alex's songs, Conspiracy Music Guru? What do you reckon? Why don't we,
Yeah, man.
why don't you want to play one of those?
Please do,
Yeah.
bro. You should be able to share screen. If one of you boys are, or I can, or
Santos should be able to. I was able to.
All right. Let's do this one.
cool.
Here we go. I'll share my screen.
Alex Stein, if you're listening, bro, I'd love to have a chat with you too, man. Far out. He's a funny man. My kids love him.
Oh, he's good.
Have
Here
to
we
have
go.
the truth jam.
War alarm some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish fake stories as they are true without checking facts first.
Oh, we lost sound.
Santos, can you hear us, bro? No.
Whoops.
Whatever they tell you, you believe. Get a mind, news believer, you are blind. Critical thinker, you are not. Never independent thought. Boxing to your paradigm. Hypnotized with pantomime. Regurgitating all you hear. Spread your terror, spread your fear. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will never see. Next the brood of tyranny. Begging for your slavery. They who have remote control. The keys know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver. Television watching news believer. Set your poison where your mind. All they have to do is ask. Never questioning authority. Blindly following like sheep. Yes sir, no sir, free back fool. You television watching fool. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will never see. Next the brood of tyranny. Begging for your slavery. They who have remote control. The keys know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver. Television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Their world forever locked. Into their world forever boxed. Reality you leave behind. A prisoner of your own mind. Forever you will be deceived. Never, ever to be free. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Next the food
dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely
He's good, isn't he?
All
All
right.
the different
Wow.
styles.
Puppet show.
It
Clown
is,
show.
man.
Well, let's just keep lifting the veil, boys. Wizard,
Yep.
you know, we're in the live Wizard. It's a real Wizard of Oz.
Yep, for sure, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yep.
Well,
Behind the curtain's just a smelly little, joke.
yeah, man.
Don't empower them.
We've busted them. We've busted them. We're free, man. We're free forever now. We are free and immortal. Never shall we look back. Every day, day by day, we get better and better.
Yeah, man. That's
Good
it.
job.
Every day.
It was funny, bro. I've got a friend who I was speaking with the other day, and every day I speak to him, it's like, ever since this shit's happened, man, I've just got funny, man. I've just got stronger and stronger. And no matter what hurdle that seems to be thrown at me, I'm just chewing it up and eating it, and spitting it out and going, mate, whatever, bring it on,
Yep.
you know? And
Yep.
there are other people who are, they're just don't, they're not owning it, you know, and they're still, still caught up in trying to, run a shop or whatever. It's like, mate, just get the fuck out of it. Sell the thing.
The
Or,
system's gone. Not
Yep.
coming back.
move
New
on.
one's coming. The phoenix is rising, guys. We are it. We are it.
Indeed.
That's it,
Yep.
brother. And on that note, boys, I can't thank you enough for your time and your energy. And as we know, we're electrical beings. And as Santos explained so well, let's keep eating good foods, keep living the beautiful life of either vegan or vegetarianism, staying away from the meat, educating people, spreading the word and the love. And as I said, can't thank you enough, boys. Santos, Cambell, pleasure to have you here. And I just want to, the more we can do of this, guys, let's maybe next time pick a topic, maybe get a little, and rip something apart. I'd love to do that with you both. And we can go and pick a topic, get some real awesome picks up together. And really, because mate, that's, this is all I do too, bro. This is all, I'm always looking and always seeking, and mate, every walk I drive my missus crazy. I'm looking at that rock, babe. That's a megalithic rock. What's it doing there? So this is it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Gary. Nice to finally be in a chat with you, Santos.
Yeah, likewise, brother. Thanks, Gary, for putting this on, man.
Yeah,
No, thank you, bro. It couldn't have happened without either of you guys. And as I said, this ain't a contest of egos or anything. This is about truth, spreading the truth, and that's why you guys have been so helpful to me. That's because that's what I'm doing as well. So, boys, peace, love ya. And
Big love.
if I could, I'd give you a big heart-to-heart cuddle.
Yep, I feel it.
Yeah, man. That's it, brother.
Be the change you want to see, guys.
All right, boys.
Take care, man.
Yeah, my friend.
Love you all.
Awesome. Have a good one,
Till
boys.
next time.
Till next
Bye-bye.
time. Thank you. Bye.